Let's get started with our first color, which is going to be black. So I'll be using markers today, but you can use anything in your art box if it's crayons or colored pencils with the same colors. So find the color black in your art box and let's use it on a few different parts of our stitch coloring page. Let's start out with the eyes. So here in the inside of Stitch's eyes, we want to color this in black. So Stitch has those really big eyes that we have a little bit more room to work with, but let's go ahead and color that in. Right around that circle in the inside of the eye, we want to leave that in white for that color and shape of the eye. And just continue to work your way with your black, finishing out left eye. Let's go in the nose right here. These two spots on the inside of Stitch's nose will also be black. So just like that. Over here on the right side, same thing. Great. And let's do the same with Stitch's right eye. So right over here, let's color right around that circle, just like so. And color in the rest of that big eye for Stitch with that black. And once we finish out here, we're going to use our black in a few different parts as well to finish out our stitch. So let's go now and use our black right here on Stitch's feet and also on his hands. So on the feet, we have the nails for our stitch. We want to color each of these in black right around here, just like that. Let's go on now and do the same thing with Stitch's hands. So right in here, let's use the black on those fingers. And these areas are a little small, so just take your time. There's no rush. You can always pause and jump right back in if you need to. Let's go ahead now and color in the right foot right around those areas where we have the toes, the nails right there for our stitch. So now we've colored in those areas in black. Let's move on to our next color, which is going to be a royal blue. So anything that's like a darker blue, if you have it similar to this, try to find that, or a navy blue in your art box, go ahead and find that. And we're going to use it on one spot, which is on Stitch's nose. So when you have that navy blue or darker blue in your hand, let's go ahead and color in our Stitch's famous nose with that color. So we want to color it in right around that black that we just put on the page, just like that. As we know, Stitch's nose is like a dark blue color. So if you don't have that in your art box, you can substitute. That's the great thing about Sam School Colors. We can always substitute to any colors you do have available. Or if you want to just get extra creative, you can color in Stitch's nose or any other parts, any color you would like. Beautiful. So now we've colored in Stitch's nose. Let's move on to our next color, which is going to be a bright blue. So if you have a regular blue or a bright blue similar to this one, let's go ahead and use that on a few different places. Let's start out first with the outer part of Stitch's eyes. So right over here, we want to use this bright blue on this area, right around that black that we just colored. We need to color this area in now with this bright blue. Just like that. So let's try to stay within these lines. We have a nice big space to work with when we color in this particular spot. Now let's move on to the right eye, just like that. Beautiful. And move on down and around, continuing to work around that shape, just like so. And now let's use our blue here on the middle of Stitch's body, right in here. So we'll use the same color right in this area. And we have a lot of room to work with. So we have a fun time letting your hand go freely up and down or side to side, whatever way you feel most comfortable. Once you get close to the edges, just slow down just a little bit to make sure we stay within these lines, just like that. And once we are finishing out here, we have one more area on Stitch's body for the same color. So once we finished out there, right in here, underneath Stitch's feet, these circles right here on the left side, we want to color in with that same blue. And here on the right, same thing with the same blue, just like that. Beautiful. Now, let's use this blue for one other thing on our page for the beautiful clouds that are above our stitch. We just want to color these in with that same blue. So we can use this to just show the colors of the clouds, just to give the sky a nice little color on our page, and just try to stay within the lines of the clouds as best as you can. It does not have to be perfect. Just do your best and forget the rest. Have a fun time here at Sam's Cool Colors, just relaxing, going through, and having a beautiful page at the end. So let's go ahead and keep going. We can keep moving with the shape of the clouds. As the clouds are further back, they get a little smaller. So just work within those lines and take a little extra time. But once the clouds are closer to us, they're a little larger, so a little easier to work with. Right here, this cloud that's right beside Stitch's ear, same thing. And right here, this last little cloud, let's not forget it, beside Stitch's ear, just to give our sky a little bit more color. Beautiful. And once you finish with that last cloud, you can move that color to the side, and we'll move on to our next color, which is going to be a pink. So if you have any pink color or even a light purple color, that will work just great. We're going to use it on the inside of our Stitch's ears. So we have his two big ears. We want to color in both of these that are the insides of his ears with that color. So you can always substitute as you need to if you don't have this particular color, but any color that's similar to the pink family will work just great. So just go ahead and grab that and just have a great time on the inside of Stitch's ear. And now we can move on to the right ear once you finish out with the left ear. And Stitch's ears are so big, we can have a fun time just coloring them in, outlining it as we go, just like that. And once you finish out with this second ear, we can move on to our next color, which is going to be a light purple. So if you have a light purple similar to this or anything close, we can go ahead and start to use this now on Stitch's body. So let's go ahead and use it on the ears first. So we have the inside colored in. Now let's color in the outside. So let's go ahead and start to use this on our Stitch's body. So if you have a light purple or anything similar, you can go ahead and color it in with this particular color and just outline it first, because it gets a little small in some of these areas, especially underneath Stitch's eyes, as you can see, and around the nose. See, underneath the nose, it gets a little small. I'm going to come back up to the top and just color it in as we go from left to right, just like that. And we can continue to move along. Now, once we get towards the middle of the page, we can work our way closer to the eyes and just be sure not to cross over the lines, right? So we have these lines from before, just like that. We want to make sure we don't cross over those lines. Just taking your time with it and having fun, having a fun time. Let's not forget, art is all about relaxing and having a wonderful time and getting as creative as possible, letting your imagination take you wherever you want to go with your page. So now let's continue to move on, just like that. And we can move on to this right ear. So this is the last part of the right ear with the same color. And then we'll move on to the rest of Stitch's body. So let's start out here with the left foot, and then we'll work our way to the side, coloring around those areas. So everything else on Stitch's body that's in white will get this color. So you can go ahead and you can move at the same pace, or you can move ahead if you have this color already on some other parts of Stitch's body. Feel free. You can move ahead, or you can pause it and catch up with us a little later if you need some more time. That's the wonderful thing about going step by step. Beautiful. So we are coloring it in now on the left arm, and shortly we'll move on to the right arm on our Stitch coloring page. And right here in the middle, let's not forget this little spot here towards the bottom, just like that. And then we'll move on to the right arm and Stitch is here sitting on what looks to be grass in the field. So we'll finish out by coloring in a few things there to make it look nice and green. So let's finish coloring it in just like that. Now we're on to the last leg on our Stitch coloring page. And Stitch's foot here on the right side, coloring in that circle foot, just like that. So for our next color, let's go ahead and grab a dark green. So if you have a dark green option in your art box, we're going to use that to start to color in the background on our Stitch coloring page. So there's two parts that we're going to color in. For the dark green, let's go ahead and use the top part where we see these big leaves behind our Stitch. So here's what I mean. We'll go ahead and use this dark green right here. This is going to be the outline for the top. And then we could use this end here as our border. And let's stop right over here where we see this little grass. You see the little grass on the bottom? We'll come in a little bit with another color for that, just to give it two colors on the page, showing the background with tons of leaves that we see for our Stitch coloring page. So let's go ahead and start to just color in all those leaves with this dark green color. And with this dark green color, it just shows a nice background where Stitch is sitting in the grass, but it looks like it's in the forest area. So we have our dark green there. And now let's go ahead and do the same thing with the other side. So use this as your guide. And we're going to just color in these leaves with that dark green, just like so. And once we do that, we can outline this big leaf here and just color it in and stop right around there. Like I said, right here where you see this little grass, we're going to color in with a different color in just a minute. So finish coloring it in with your darker green. If you only have one shade of green available today, that's okay. Feel free to use just one color green on the entire background here. That's okay. And once you're finished with that top part of the background, let's go ahead and use a light green. So this will be a lighter green. If you have two options of green, go ahead and grab that lighter green. And now you'll see we start to go in with a different shade of green. You see that? So this different shade of green will go on the page and it'll be a nice complement to the darker green that we have on the page. Just like that. So just color that in. Pick the point where you want to end it, right around there. And just continue to work around where Stitch is sitting. And this is just going to give us a nice little effect of Stitch actually sitting in that grassy area, just like that. And you can get as creative as you want. If you want to color the grass a different fun color, that's totally fine. But for today, I wanted to make the grass a nice green color. Just work your way from left to right, just like that. Working around that second foot here, just like so. And then we can go up to meet right here where we ended the other side. And then we can kind of come back in very easily and finish coloring out the rest of that grass around our very fun Stitch. So now we finished coloring our page of Stitch together using 7 colors.